Thank you, Ryan. You did great. Well, thank you. You may be seated. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Everybody didn't leave to go somewhere. But I wouldn't have blamed you if you would have with work tomorrow and most of you being off and the long weekend. But I'm glad we're in church today. It's what I'm happy about. I leaned to Gentry. I said, is it always, and I'm not speaking of speaker system. I said, is it always this loud in here or is it my hearing aids? I have never heard such worship. It sounded like a Niagara Fall that's coming out of this place today. And what God is doing sounds just great, and the things that are happening. I'm going to update you because I know that you have been quite concerned, and I'm sorry that I've been so silent on the matter on social media, but it's something I wanted to talk to you about. I'm thankful for you in this great church. I'm glad that we have one another, aren't you? We're now back to last Sunday, the number when they sent me that we're in church. We're now back without our bus routes. We are right at our pre-COVID numbers, and I'm thankful for what God is doing there. As far as my health, last Friday I became deathly sick, and I had preached Glenn Woodward's funeral on Thursday, and then Thursday night I flew to Denver, and Mike Gayle picked me up, and we went up to our place in Frisco, and I just became violently sick on Friday and continued to vomit, and so she made a decision. She said, Dad, and I'm so glad Mike Gayle was with me. Mike Gayle was simply unbelievable, and I thank God for it. She said, Dad, you need an IV. And I said, well, I don't know I want an IV, Mike Gayle. I said, I think, and she said, no, you're totally dehydrating. Of course, her working in the nursing field, not a nurse, but working with nurses. She said, you need an IV. And I said, okay, let me process it. And she's standing there while, now, you may not believe stuff like this, or maybe our iPhones hear us when we talk. I'm not joking about that. I mean, really, when they're off, they may be listening to you. I don't know what all Siri can do. She's a pretty powerful woman. But while we were standing there, I'm talking like in 10 minutes, she said, Dad. I said, what? She said, it just popped up on my phone. Said, there's you can get a mobile IV in Denver, Colorado. I said, okay, let's go. So we went down, and the lady began to put IVs in me with Mike Gayle, and she said, let me check everything. And she put a monitor, and she stopped, and she said, I need to stop. You need to go to the hospital now. And I said, well, what's the issue? She said, well, your heart is down to 40, and your heart's only beating 40 times, so you need to get to the hospital. And so I made it to a hospital called St. Anthony's. I mean, I want to be a saint, but I wasn't planning on being one that quick, okay? So I thought, okay, this is the time. I am at St. Anthony's. And so I laid there in St. Anthony's, and Mike Gayle taking good care of me and the nurses. And I want you to know this week I have appointments lined up here to further find out with my doctor, Dr. Hunter, what's going on. But lying in St. Anthony's, the Lord and I had many conversations. And other than my family, this church is the most important thing in my life. Mickey and I have served here passionately for the last 40 years. And since my stroke in 2017, I have made adjustments, but maybe not quite like I should. This year has been a challenging year. Mickey with appendicitis, and we go to rush to the hospital in the middle of the morning, early mornings, and she has surgery. And then I have a severe case of COVID, which turns to shingles, which turned into post-herpetic neuralgia. I've got to be slow with all these names. So with all these health issues, I have not been able to gain my strength or my stamina back And you haven't maybe not noticed it, but it's been very embarrassing to me because of the way I live my life. If you want to see me, look at my mother, and that's the way I've lived my life. So I made some decisions laying there in that bed, and I called and canceled all the camp meetings that I have remaining, and I canceled all the conferences that I have in the future to preach. I canceled everything. I would love to continue to do everything around this church that I can possibly do, funerals, baby dedications, but I cannot do everything that I have been doing at this church. I have to focus on my health, and I have to focus on what's best for POA. Thank you. But it is not you. You have been asking for me to take care of myself. There's not a person in here that hasn't been asking me to slow down. It is me. It's just when I slow down, I feel so guilty because I have such a passion for souls and people. So I must change, and I will change. So what is going to change? Nothing that you will notice. Daily leadership, church direction will not change. Support for ministry and the leadership will not change. Music, prayer, and fasting will not change. And the doctrines that we so wholly believe in this church will not change. And I am not asking you to change. I am just asking you to allow me to change. This is what you have been asking for. I've stood by you. I've buried your dead, your fathers, your mothers, your husbands, your wives, your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, and your friends and your co-workers. Dedicated your babies. I loved you and cared for you passionately. And please remember, I will continue to be around here to do love and care as much as I can give. Please remember, I am going nowhere. I am in this church. My heart is first in my family, and a very close second, this church. The only thing that is going to change is me. I will be backing up and allowing transition to begin to happen, and yet still very involved. Today is not transition. I will be mentoring Pastor Gentry, and I will be mentoring this pastoral staff. I will be investing in them. I will be here walking the aisles. I'll be here praising every service. I'll be here giving what I can give, and yet still taking care of my health. I hope you understand, and I know you do. So please, when I give my last remark, and that is that I love you very much, I am going nowhere. I am not moving out of the way. I am going to be involved in this church. I just have to do it in a different way. You're going to have to begin to call for your counseling with Pastor Ryan, and Pastor Gentry will be taking care of the day-to-day operation, which he has done for 1 year. If you have not noticed a change in the church, then you won't notice a change, because Pastor Gentry I have not been to a staff meeting. My staff can tell you, you can check with them. If I've been to 3 staff meetings in a year, that would be amazing. I have not been to any of the 915 meetings of planning. So nothing's really going to change, except you're going to have to allow me to back up and allow Pastor Gentry, Pastor Andrew, and Pastor Ryan to begin to move forward. But particularly Pastor Gentry, as the hand of God rest upon him. I love you very much. Thank you for allowing me to back up and catch my breath and get my health under control. I love you. Thank you.